Welcome back to Uddevalla, the Grand Prix of Sweden, round 10 of the FIM MX1 World Motocross Championship. Weather conditions, as you can see, just below 20 degrees. 54% chance of humidity, which means we had all the rain yesterday, I think. Certainly that's what it felt like, and we've got a great crowd up there on the hillside here. So round 10 then of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship returns to Sweden and the Glimminge Motor Stadion just outside Uddevalla. Been coming here every year since 2001 actually, but the first ever winner was the Swede Sten Lundin. That's when it used to be based down on the shoreline of the fjord down there and amongst the seashells. We've had 33 different winners so far in the 18 years that we've been coming here, but Stefan Everts has 6 race wins. Tony Cairoli is closing in on that record with 4 of his own. So he continues to lead the championship by 51 points over Gauthier Paulin with Clement de Sal in 3rd. In Dijker, he's in 4th in the championship at the moment, but it's Kevin Strybos just outside them in 5th position. Fabulous track, fabulous crowd, fabulous location. What more could you want from the Swedish Grand Prix? Of course, it's round 10 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, and we're live. Just over 1,500 metres long, the circuit, into that hairpin 180-degree left-hand turn, down past pit lane, then dropping down into turn 2. Normally catches out 1 or 2 riders, but so too will that first corner as well. I'm glad to say it's a lot drier than it was yesterday as well. But we're getting ready to go down to the start line to speak with Amy Dargan. Of course, she'll have 1 or 2 riders down there. Not sure who she got with her though, so it'll be a surprise for me as well. Here she is.
We're back down on the start line for the first MX1 race. I'm joined by Tommy Searle. Tommy, you looked good in warm-up earlier. Very different track conditions out here today though, right?
Yeah, it's totally different to yesterday. Yesterday was really wet, and now I just watched a little bit of the MX2 race and it's really dry out there. So, but still the start's going to be crucial as it is every weekend, so hopefully I can get a good start and then get it in the top 3. That's where I want to be.
And you took the overall here last year in MX2.
Yeah, I did take the overall here, so that would be nice to do it again, but if I can get on the podium for the first time this season, that would be great.
How do you feel about your last few races?
I feel good. Like France, I had a good race, and then Italy, my second race was good, and a little bit, I had a crash in the first race in Italy, so, but other than that, I feel good, like getting more confidence each week.
Thanks, Tommy. Right, these guys will be heading out shortly on their sighting lap, but we're going to take a look afterwards at the MX1 Red Bull KTM riders.
Yeah, Tommy Searle had a good qualifying race yesterday, but as Amy says, in a moment we're going to take a look behind the scenes at Red Bull KTM MX1. We're speaking to Kenta Dijker, and of course Tony Cairoli as well.
I expected after Valkenswaard to be more stronger going on the season, but I had some problems with like crashing and bad starts, and finally we're back on that rhythm and on the podium. So we try to be consistent now the next 3, and then hopefully be even more stronger for the end of the season. I think I came to a certain age that I'm like no stress anymore. It's more fun this way. I'm so happy in this team and everything is going well with me and my teammate, and just having fun, and that's the way my results get better and better, and maybe I still can be championship, but not this year. I think he's already in front too much, and just keep having fun and keep putting pressures on other guys instead of the team.
It wasn't a happy hunting ground for Ken here last year, but it was even more testing for Tony. Tony, do you believe in luck as a racer?
For sure, I think there is more, few people who are more lucky than other people, but I think the most important things is that you make the luck your own luck. I think if you are well trained and if you have a strong mind, I think you can stay away from most of the bad happens during the race. It can happen, and actually for me, both models DNF on this track. So last year, so this year we want to have some revenge. Yeah, I know. You know, I'm not feeling 100% with my knee injury on the last round in Maggiore in Italy, but I will do my best to for sure. On the worst case, it will be better than last year.
And how do you remove luck from the equation? Because you can't do that on your own.
No, I think for me, it's, I do all the same every time, all the same stuff, and I think it's important to believe in yourself and just keep going. The season was still really long last year after this race, and it is also this year. So it's still there is no worries. There is always points on the championships that you can still earn.
And you're approaching yet another milestone of your career, 60th GP win possible.
Yeah. This is. I'm trying to reach my 6th GP of the career, so it's gonna be a big thing. But like I said, always I don't watch the numbers. For me, it's important to win GP after GP. So this is my goal.
The FIM was guiding this whole event through the lights.
Tommy Searle pushes his CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki to his preferred starting grid position, but Stephen Frossard returning from injury after the Italian Grand Prix round 4 at Arco di Trento. Well, he had a fairy tale start to the weekend this weekend after picking the whole shot in Moto number 1 and leading every single one of the 12 laps in qualifying to bring home his Monster Energy Yamaha in first place ahead of Clément de Sale on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki by almost 4 seconds. Then it was Tender Dyker on the Rebel KTM who came home third after finding a way past Sean Simpson on the SKS Gabon Yamaha in 4th place. Of course, Simpson was formerly a factory TM rider up until this weekend. So Cairoli was 5th, Van Hoorbeek 6th, Max Nagel and Evgeny Bobashev were Honda World Motocross duo there in 7th and 8th, ahead of Tommy Searle 9th and Kevin Strybos, the second of the Rockstar Energy Suzukis, in 10th. And it was the Ice One Racing KTM of Xavier Bourg. He's going to be one of my guests on the MX Live TV show. There'll be live replays on that during the course of the weekend as well. And then we've got David Guarneri, Gauthier Paulin, who fell 3 places in the final couple of laps when he was holding down 10th place on that factory Kawasaki. Then it's David Philipparts, another of my guests later on today, and then Dennis Ulrich, Tano Leok on the factory TM, Ritchie Racing Machine, having moved from the MVRD Honda squad, Route 77 Energy Honda squad, then Davis Ivanovs, Heron Bracker, Kim Lindstrom and Philip Bengtsson. Joel Roulance, he'll be disappointed with his 30th place qualifying. Went out on lap 5 when he was holding down 13th. So it's been a tough season for Joel Roulance so far this year. He'll be looking for a little bit of better luck in this first MX1 race. Dave Nicol, our race director, about to get the MX1 riders under starters orders, as always. Sun is out, sky is blue, track a lot drier, possibly the driest it's been all weekend long. So it's going to be a different racetrack and a different style of race to what we had in qualifying yesterday. It was pretty much follow the leader. Not saying that's why Frossard won it. He was smooth, he got a good start, he was comfortable, he didn't panic. Great crowd here, 5-second board, the gate about to drop, and at the inside it is Frossard here. Somebody went go early there and got caught on the gate, and it was the 256, one of the wild cards. As everybody safely through, and Cairoli and Nagel, they dispute the Get Athena Whole Shot Award with de Sale there in 3rd place. Tommy Searle around the outside in 4th. A couple of riders trying to run on there, but on board with Nagel then. As he heads out of turn 3, over the first jump onto the crest And Tony Cairoli, who was struggling yesterday, didn't look comfortable at any point during the day yesterday with that left knee injury that he picked up at the start of race 2, or race 1, sorry, in Italy a couple of weekends ago. He's pulled the, well, he's leading the race. I won't say he's pulled the whole shot yet until we see the proof of that at the end of the moto. But DeSalle carves his way into 3rd place at the top of the hill there on that yellow number 25 Suzuki, forcing the 89 Kawasaki of Jeremy Van Horbeke white. There's Bobashev, 777 in red. He's in 5th position as he comes over the tabletop. Then it's Tommy Searle. And then is that Gauthier Paulin just behind him? Well, I think it was, but it might be Roulon or Frossard in there as well. So hard and slick as they drop downhill. One of the lowest points on the circuit. Yep, Tommy Searle, Stephen Frossard and Gauthier Paulin all getting into each other at the bottom right-hander here. Sean Simpson just off the back of that group in around about 10th, 11th place, something like that, just ahead of Kendra Dyker, I think. But Tony Cairoli working his way round on this opening lap here. There's number 12, Max Nagel. He's in 2nd place. Drops into the turn now. We'll pick the guys up as they come over the finish line. There's Nagel going through in 2nd, DeSalle 3rd. It's going to be Van Horbeke in 4th, Frossard in 5th, Bobashev in 6th, Tommy Searle 7th, then Paulin in 8th as they rock over the line. Then De Dyker 9th, Simpson 10th, Guarneri 11th, Caro 12th, Leoc 13th, Philipp Arts 14th, Xavier Borg, Kevin Strybos, Davis Ivanovs, he's in 17th place. Then we've got Heron Bracker, Davis Lifts and August Just, he's in 20th. Then behind them, Dennis Ulrich, Philip Bengtsson, Santu Tienen, Vititas Buchas, the Lithuanian. Replay at the start. Oh, flying start there from Tano Leoc compared to Dennis Ulrich alongside him. And it was the 2.56 of Kim Lindstrom who tried to go early, hit the gate. Let's see how much time that's cost him. Wow, absolutely nothing in it between those two. Tony Cairoli and the number 12, Max Nagel. Maybe we might get a slightly different view of it here from Nagel's perspective. He's going to outbrake the guy alongside him. Tony Cairoli will be up the inside of him, though. At this point, Nagel just running a little bit wide coming out of that first turn. But he's still got Tony Cairoli in his sights, has the German, number 12. DeSalle there in 3rd place. Van Horbeke still 4th. Bobashev still 5th. Frossard still 6th. We just saw him pop up into view over that tabletop. As we look at Van Horbeke, 89. Oh, Frossard up the inside of Bobashev and slots into 4th position. Into 5th place, sorry. So Bobashev found a way through at some point. And he's just been retaken by Frossard. He's taken the high-wide line. So first official lap then being completed here. Cairoli, 1.8 clear of Max Nagel, who is the fastest man on track at the moment with a 1:47.0, so just 0.2 quicker than Tony Cairoli, our race leader. Clement DeSalle on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki is 3rd, Van Horbeke is 4th on the factory Kawasaki. Then the blue Yamaha there, the Monster Energy Yamaha of Frossard is 5th. A big jump there into 7th place for Gauthier Paulin. Trying to go around Tommy Searle. He's going to dive up the inside, give the Brit absolutely nowhere to go. Oh, and Frossard almost through the front door. Got short at the top of the hill. And he is in all over the place at the moment. So Frossard, and you see the impact he hit. I'm wondering if he's got another problem there, but he's lost a position there to Bobashev. He goes tight to the inside. Oh, and Paulin goes down. So Paulin just on the charge. We saw the big jump, and then he found a way up the inside of Tommy Searle. And he's lost a couple of positions. Now falls right into the front of Sean Simpson, so he's in 10th place. Here's Gauthier Paulin, 21, and his main challenger for the title, Tony Cairoli, is in the driving seat at the moment. He's in 1st. He's looking at picking up 25 points. As Frossard goes back after 777 of Evgeny Bobashev. He's got the inside line here. Bobashev has to back out the challenge and does. That might play into the hands of Tommy Searle, who's going to burst up the inside now. Oh, and pulling up there. Bobryshev, he's out. He's injured. He's not in a good way. Oh, Bobryshev. Not sure what the problem is there. Whether it's a bike problem there or if he's just caught the foot, but nah, he's definitely in a bit of pain. Wanted to try and get into the... he's in a lot of discomfort, is Bobryshev. So unlucky then for Evgeny Bobryshev. Obviously dropped off the drop-off. Maybe, I'm just wondering on the upside whether he caught his foot, whether he got his foot just down and bent it back under the footrest, but maybe Amy can get a word with him as soon as is possible. But out of the race on lap 2, Evgeny Bobryshev. Evgeny Bobryshev pulls into pit lane then. He's going to have to help off that bike. Of course, that's the leg he injured, I think. He's not in a good way. He needs to sit down. Cairoli, though, continues to lead after setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:46.3. He's 2.6 seconds clear of Max Nagel, the lead and only Honda World Motocross rider then, who's in second position. Clement de Sal is 3 seconds further back in third on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Van Hoorbeek, the factory Kawasaki rider, number 89, is in fourth place. Then we've got Frossard, Searle, de Dijker, and we just saw a flash of Davide Graneri there. He's in 8th on the Marchetti Racing KTM. Paulin just behind him in 9th. Evgeny Bobryshev there. He was in 10th when he actually pulled out across the line, but he was just behind Frossard in 6th place. There's Tommy Searle. Heard him on the pre-grid interview at the start of the moto. Yes, he was an MX2 winner here, but Frossard is just ahead of him at the moment. Tommy Searle said if he gets on the podium, that'd be nice. Probably not looking to win the overall this weekend, but 2 solid scores for Searle would be nice. Gets to the top of the hill. They're going to be hitting the jump pretty much side by side, and Searle, he has the commanding line through the right-hander. Frossard thought about going down the inside, but Searle had it covered neatly. Searle just hit that same rock that was maybe just crowning its way out at the top of that little peak there. Oh, and de Dijker goes through. A mistake from Frossard. So Frossard then, whether he had a problem when that when he caught the waves at the top of the hill a little bit wrong just as lap or so ago, he's certainly not as aggressive as he was yesterday. So Searle then up into 5th. He'll be going after his fellow rookie, number 89, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, but he's got Ken de Dijker, number 9 there, on the Red Bull KTM, who won his first ever MX1 Grand Prix here back in 2007 on a Cass Honda, under the watchful eye of Harry Ainsworth, of course, and Neil Prince, the former team manager for that squad. But Tano Leok on the factory TM, the Ritchie Racing TM, he is in at 12th position. Oh, look at that, just behind Sean Simpson, the JK SKS Gebbon, the Yamaha. That's Simpson at the bottom of the hill in red. There's Leok in the blue with the white helmet. Just behind him, he's got David Philipparts and Xavier Borg. Xavier Borg on the 121 Ice One Racing KTM, and David Philipparts on the number 19 red Garibaldi Honda. Cairoli drops down to turn 2. 3.7 seconds clear. Fastest man on track once again. Oh, eclipsed, though, by Tommy Searle, 1:46.1. So just by the narrowest of margins then, 1/10 of a second. 1.5 seconds back, or 2.5 seconds back, though, Tommy Searle behind Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek in 4th place. Tommy Searle was more than a second quicker, though. There's Nagel. He's in 2nd. Honda World Motocross Racing. The German doing his best at the moment. So with his teammate out, Max Nagel having to pick up the points for Honda. Nagel obviously had his own challenging problems at the start of the year, 11th and 16th in Qatar. Couldn't ride in Thailand because of that stomach bug that he picked up. But a couple of 6th place finishes. Last time out in Italy. But we're going down to pit lane and Honda. Let's hear from Roger Harvey.
Rog, I know you've just popped in there and had a word with Bobby. What's he saying? He looks in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he's in a lot of pain. He's hurt the leg he hurt beginning of the season, you know, early in the season. He's caught that again. It looks like he's twisted it again, but it's a really very, very painful injury that he does. And it sounds like he's just caught it in a rut or something like that and just twisted it again. So we've got our team physio now looking at him. He says it's okay, but back and forward movement looks okay. Twisted movement we don't want to risk. We'll get him to the medical and get a picture of him and see what he's doing.
Out for second race.
He's Russian.
You might pull through.
You don't know with the Russians, but like, to be honest, it's a lot of pain, is it?
Thanks, Rog.
Didika goes past Tommy Searle then as they complete lap 5. So Cairoli, Nagel to Sal, Van Hoorbeek to Dika, Searle now in 6th position on that number 100 Kawasaki. Maybe he'll try and latch onto the back of the big number 9, Ken de Dika. Get himself pulled up onto the rear wheel of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who's still like 3 or 4 seconds clear of these guys here going over the waves in the opposite direction. Well, it doesn't look like 2.5, 3 seconds now, does it? So maybe Van Hoorbeek making a mistake all by himself. The 183 Yamaha in the background there. Stephen Frossard in 7th, ahead of his fellow countryman Gauthier Paulin in 8th. Guarneri 9th on the Marchetti Racing KTM, and Kevin Strybos down in 10th place. Tano Leok all over the back of the number 24, Sean Simpson. So these two guys changing teams. There's no animosity between these two guys, of course. It's just how circumstances have panned out. Simpson leaving TM under whatever circumstances. Of course, Tano Leok being asked to join under similar circumstances, I guess, and having to leave his own team in the process. But David Philippart's there, and Xavier Bourg in the background, having their own little battle going on for 13th and 14th position. Gauthier Paulin just finding a way past 183 Stephen Frossard. So I just wonder whether that impact at the top of the hill on lap 2 or 3. Stephen Frossard might have just caused him 1 or 2 problems, but certainly not interested in going forwards. Here's Frossard. But Gauthier Paulin, say it every week, knows he cannot afford to give Cairoli a head start. When you go down in a turn and lose 2 or 3 positions in the process, and you just hand that advantage even further to your main championship challenger, it doesn't get any easier, does it? Frossard just going too deep and offered no resistance to Gauthier Paulin there as he dropped into that left-hander. Turn 5. De Dika siding his way through that deep berm at the top of the hill, going after Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. And is he whittling the gap down? Not by a lot. Van Hoorbeek sets his own personal best. Lap of the race, though, 46.6. Cairoli 4.6 seconds clear at the head of the field, though. Nagel. This is DeSalle, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. He's in 3rd place at the moment. He was obviously a runaway winner in Moto number 1 in Italy at Maggiora, round 9 a couple of weeks ago, but I think it was an electrical fault that robbed him of points in the second moto there. Tano Leok alongside Sean Simpson. Look, that was just a moment ago. Tried to lean on him. Simpson knew he was there. Paulin, what are we seeing here? Whoa. Front end, very lucky to get away with that. Just trying a little bit too hard, maybe the Frenchman Gauthier Paulin, as he tries to go after Tommy Searle. So Cairoli over the line. Almost 5 seconds clear after setting the fastest sector of the race as well. Nagel still second. He's 5 seconds clear of DeSalle. Van Hoorbeek 4th, another 4 seconds further back to Dika. 4 seconds further back in 5th place. Tommy Searle has lost a couple of seconds over the last couple of laps since being overtaken by De Dika. But Gauthier Paulin, about 4 seconds down on the Brit, Tommy Searle. Frossard is 8th, Guarneri 9th, Strybos 10th. Simpson 11th, Philippart's 12th, Bourg 13th. So Tano Leok's had a problem because he's been pushed back to 14th, and he has lost about 2.5 seconds somewhere along the way. Mattis Caro, STR Racing KTM, He's in 15th. Dennis Ulrich is 16th. Davis Ivanov 17th. Heron Bracker 18th. Philip Bengtsson 19th. Nick Larson is in 20th place. Jonathan Barrigan just outside of the points in 22nd. Not having a good season so far. But there's Van Hoorbeek. He's going to be on a few shopping lists for 2014. Talking to different people at the moment, I'm sure, but doing a good job of putting himself in the shop window as he continues to hold on to 4th place. "19 minutes plus 2 laps. Sean Simpson in 11th place. 12th place now because David Philipparts has found a way through. The number 19. Xavier Borg has made a mistake because I'm sure Tano Leok is there in the background. Yes, he is. So we've lost Xavier Borg. That might have been one of the next 2 riders in that right-hander at the bottom of the hill. 24, Sean Simpson, though, doing his best to keep the number 19, David Philipparts, in his sights. Simpson now riding the JK SKS Gebbon Yamaha this weekend. There's Philipparts. He was a winner here, of course, in the past, 2006 in the MX2 category on a KTM. Finished 3rd a few years ago as well in MX1. He's going to be one of my guests on the MX Live TV studio show. About 30 minutes after this race finishes, so we start that at 2:15. Of course, we'll have Xavier Borg and Francois Lemarie there as well. We're glad to have your questions. Twitter at MXGP Live, Facebook/MXGP. "17.5 minutes plus two laps to go. Tommy Searle still in 6th place, about a 2.5 down on Kenda Dyker. Kevin Strybos, meanwhile, he's in 10th place, the number 22, Rockstar Energy Suzuki. That's him there in the yellow. Dropping downhill as he tries to find a way to close in on the number 39, Marchetti Racing KTM of Davide Guarneri. And Guarneri riding pretty good this year. Normally hovers around the top 10 mark, but 9th and 10th in France, and 9th and 8th in Italy at home, Maggiora. And here he is now in another 9th place finish for what is a relatively small team at Marchetti Racing KTM. Frossard, though, suddenly looks to be riding a little bit easier with 16.5 to go. He's still got Gauthier Paulin just ahead of him, but I think that moment that he had at the early moment of the race, out of the right-hander with the wave section, definitely had an impact where he was almost out through the over the handlebars, landed heavily, ran wide in the corner. So I just wonder whether he jarred a wrist or something like that through that section there. Gauthier Paulin, you know what, that corner there was very, very difficult yesterday. 5 or 6 lines, deep ruts, right the way up to the foot pegs with 4 or 5 big bumps right the way through them as well, where the riders are getting on the gas at different times of the line there, and then braking at the end point of those ruts. Max Nagel, comfortable in 2nd place at the moment. 5.5 seconds down on Kai Rowley, our race leader. Just spots his position before he lands. Probably had a quick look to see where Kai Rowley was as well. Well, Kai Rowley will be coming over the line any moment now. Kai Rowley, we'll wait for that lap to click. There we go, 47.6 for him. A 46.3 for Nagel, so 4.1 seconds down. There is Kai Rowley at the bottom of the hill. Nagel might have been able to see him, dealing with the back marker there just a moment ago. Commander Sal, number 25, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider. He's in 3rd place, 7 seconds down on Nagel, as the back marker number, is that 122? Might have been 722 actually, Tom Johnson. Horbeek looks to be closing in all of a sudden. He'll see DeSalle just ahead of him. So the second half of this race, Van Horbeek might be the guy going for the podium here. Riding a little bit sick a couple of weeks ago in France, but shouting at the back marker, you can just hear him underneath that helmet. One of the oldest tricks in the book, let the guy know that you're there. 1:46.7 for him last time around, 7:53, so a couple of tenths quicker than his own personal best earlier. Gauthier Paulin probably wasn't expecting Stephen Frossard to stay with him when he went by earlier on in the race. Gauthier Paulin now in 7th place, so Kai Rowley leads. He's 4 seconds clear of Max Nagel. Clement DeSalle is in 3rd. Another, well, 7 seconds off the lead at the moment is DeSalle. But just waiting for, there we go, 7 seconds. DeSalle off of Max Nagel. Van Horbeek is 4th. De Dijker, we know it is still 5th. Tommy Searle is 3 seconds further back in 6th. Then we've got Gauthier Paulin just here, number 21, going over the line now in 7th. Stephen Frossard, the 183 Monster Energy Yamaha, he's in 8th place. 9th is Guarnieri on the Marchetti Racing KTM, the number 39 Italian. Kevin Strybos is 10th. Philip Hart's 11th. Sean Simpson 12th. Tano Leot 13th. Xavier Borg 14th. Mattis Caro is 15th on the Steve Turner Racing KTM. Dennis Ulrich 16th. Davis Ivanovs is 17th. Heron Bracker, Nick Larson and Philip Bengtson rounding out the top 20. Gauthier Paulin had a great Italian Grand Prix a couple of weekends ago, if you recall. Withstood the pressure from Tony Cairoli after finishing 3rd in Moto number 1. He brought it home with a win in the second race to win what for him was quite an emotional Italian Grand Prix at Maggiora. There's Santu Tienen, one of the back markers there, the 167 on the 24 MX Honda, out of the points at the moment as Nagel comes into land. I just wonder whether Bobryshev just twisted the foot on the takeoff there, because it was at that point going into the corner that he really pulled up when he went out early on in the race. It's a real stretch to get over the finish line jump now. Really have ramped up the takeoffs. Van Horbeek, though, looking good. He was another couple of tenths quicker than Clement DeSalle that time around, and he'll be mindful of that. A couple of tenths here, a couple of tenths there. Suddenly, before you know it, you've pulled a half a second. And the point at which you look up and spot your rider gets a little bit closer. De Dijker just going through. Then we've got a couple of back markers. Then the number 100 here in blue, Tommy Searle on the green Kawasaki. Then Gauthier Paulin in 7th. Frossard just behind him in 8th. The 183 Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Back marker wasn't sure that Paulin was there, clearly. Might take a look over his shoulder now, but you would have thought the clue would have been in the fact that all the fast guys are coming by him. Moves over this time, though, for Frossard. Minutes plus 2. That'll be the board signal for Stephen Frossard. There he is, 183. Still got Gauthier Paulin just ahead of him. Cairoli still 4.5 seconds clear at the head of the field from Max Nagel. Frossard, though, having to take a wider line than normal as he works his way up. Back marker just holding him up there through the left-hander. Now he goes through, but any hard work that he's just put in to find his way back onto the rear wheel of Gauthier Paulin just come undone, but then Paulin doesn't get over the finish line jump, so might have just pulled that back. Stephen Frossard there. Simpson and Leoc having their own little battle. Of course, the journalists will be keen to see how that one plays out. So too will the respective team managers and team owners. De Dijker, he's in 5th. Ooh, he's closing in on Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. So Van Hoorbeek now under pressure. De Dijker was a second quicker that time around. And De Dijker, he's going to go after his fellow Belgian on that green Kawasaki, number 89, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. So this will be the battle for 4th place. Van Hoorbeek needs to be careful. He'll look up, see the back markers ahead of him. One of them takes a look, that'll be for Titas Buches. Oh, and Van Hoorbeek almost off the side of the bike and through the front door. Just caught a hole right on the takeoff. It flicked the rear wheel round, and he was almost looking at staring right at terra firma there. If he caught a bump or if it was a foot peg that caught the rut, as he flicks his way over that little step down into the final corner here. Watch this, Van Hoorbeek. Buches has already taken a look. Oh yeah, got pitched and then the front crossed the rut and then it just bounced back in the other direction. Some moments the riders don't even flinch over, but Van Hoorbeek would have known he was close to going down then. I'm guessing he would have taken a look over his shoulder at some point since then as well and seen De Dijker closing in on him and threatening that 4th place finish. Turning in some good consistent form lately is Van Hoorbeek. Since Bulgaria, he's not been lower than 7th. He's had, 8th in Brazil, but a 7th, a 6th, a 5th and a 6th in Portugal, 5th and an 8th in Brazil, 4, 6 in France, and a 5th and a 4th in Italy. Looking at another 4th place finish here potentially, but it depends on the mood of Ken De Dijker, who's closing in on the 89. Kawasaki just ahead of him. Look how hard and slick the racetrack is. So wet and muddy around here yesterday. During the qualifying race, as it did stop raining for MX1, there was just one very definitive line that started to appear. It was the grippiest, the cleanest line. Everything else outside of that, probably the width of the handlebars, was unusable. Too heavy, too boggy, too wet. Too many unknowns for the riders to want to take the risk to venture offline. As these guys come over the line to complete their 15th lap. Of course, I'm talking about 89 Van Hoorbeek. Guido giving him the board there. Then De Dijker. 3/4 of a second in it as they came over the line. Van Hoorbeek will know he's got a battle on, and of course, seems like Van Hoorbeek closing in on De Salle as a result of the pressure from the number 9, De Dijker. So De Salle looking like the next 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps may possibly be feeling the heat as well. Could be in danger of losing that 3rd place finish and handing Van Hoorbeek his best result of the season so far. But of course, back markers are going to play into this equation as well. Dijker on the gas early. Jumps short onto the tabletop. Just a little bit harder and drier. No wonder Van Hoorbeek chooses a different line down there, but we've got just under 5 minutes to go, plus 2. It's still Cairoli, Nagel, De Salle, Van Hoorbeek, and this guy here, De Dijker. Gauthier Paulin, 4.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Got Tommy Searle in his sights yet again. Lapping quicker that time around. 1:49.4 for Searle, 1:48.1 for Paulin. That gap 3.1 seconds. Not able to get over the Monster Energy finish line jump though. Frossard just starting to lose ground now. A couple seconds behind Gauthier Paulin. As the 24 MX Honda rider, Santu Tienen, will be aware any moment now that Gauthier Paulin about to swallow him up here. Frossard still not that far off the back though. Riding with a bit of pain yesterday, I'm sure he's riding in pain now. That knee injury that he picked up earlier on in the season, couldn't get it looked at straight away, but he was able to just sit out a few races. Couldn't go to South America, of course. Didn't ride in Italy, didn't ride in France, didn't ride in Portugal or Bulgaria. But Frossard, a couple of seasons plagued by injury since his move up from MX2. Looking to get things on track for the remainder of this season, I think. Slowly but surely, though, for Stephen Frossard. Down in 8th at the moment. Of course, we're getting ready to go down to pit lane. We'll be talking to KTM when we do go there, and it'll be with Pit Byra. Two and a half minutes plus 2 to go. Tony Cairoli continues to lead. He's extended that lead now to 5.3 seconds. We're getting ready to go down to pit lane. Talk to KTM and Pit Byra. They made a big announcement earlier this year, but let's hear what he has to say. Earlier this weekend. Here we go. Here's Amy.
Pit, Tony's leading the way in the first race, but how's the knee? How did he feel when he came in from qualifying? Because I know he wasn't able to train this week.
No, he's still struggling a little bit with his knee. Little pain, but I was pretty sure he remembers exactly what happened last year. He lost so many points. And I know this guy. He wants to show today that he can do different in Sweden, and I think he will ignore the knee the whole day.
Thanks, Pit.
Yeah, Pit Byra there. Of course, of KTM, but KTM now owners of Husqvarna, and they've announced plans for a factory team as well, making a return in MX1 and MX2. So the Ice One Racing guys, under the watchful eye of Antti Pyränen, will be heading up that team in MX1 next year, and Jackie Martins for MX2 for Husqvarna Factory Racing next year. Tony Cairoli, though, he'll be staying put at Red Bull KTM. Takes a quick look over his shoulder. He'll come over the line now as a 1:47.8 last time around. This time he is at a 1:48.0, but he's still 6 seconds clear of Clément de Salle in third place, and 4.9 of Max Nagel, who comes over the line now in second. That's him here. Launching downhill, steep, hard on the brakes, pick your rut. Easy on the gas as well. It's hard and slick through there. You see the holes, the ruts, the bumps. A lot of loose ground. Square edge bumps as well. The physical nature of riding this track, with those braking bumps at the end of the straight, a lot of energy going through the forearms, through the palms of the hands on the grip. So some guys will be maybe taping up a little bit of extra, doing a bit of extra taping on the hands just to prevent the blisters. Max Nagel, though, in a good position for moto number 2. A little bit later on, of course. Currently there in second position. That's his girlfriend there, and also Marcus de Freitas, the team manager from Honda World Motocross. De Salle, his turn to shout at the back, Marcus. Number 95, waving him on. That's Agus Just of the Latvia Elchny Honda squad. Sal still about 3.5 seconds down on Max Nagel, though. Wonder if he'll put in a last surprise push in the remaining 2.5 laps. We've got Cairoli about to come over the line any moment now. Well, Mattis Caro goes through. in 15th position on the STR Racing KTM. Simpson still ahead of Tano Leok, but he's opened that up to about 5 seconds now. Cairoli already over the line. 5.1 seconds clear of Nagel. Here's DeSalle, goes through now in 3rd place. And his time slower than Nagel, so 6 seconds down on the German. Van Hoorbeek is still, well, Van Hoorbeek has found his way back into 4th place. So Van Hoorbeek in 4th, De Dijker in 5th. Then Tommy Searle in 6th, Paulin 7th, Frossard 8th, Strybos was 9th last time around, Gruneri been pushed back to 10th place. But Van Hoorbeek about 4 seconds down on Clément DeSalle. Gauthier Paulin just maybe trying a little bit too hard in the early stages of the race, realised he'd had a bit of ground to make up, but look at this battle here, Van Hoorbeek and De Dijker. This is the battle for 4th position. So suddenly Van Hoorbeek and De Dijker going at it here, the two Belgians. Van Hoorbeek slightly cleaner through the downhill wave section. De Dijker's times have been quicker the last couple of laps than Van Hoorbeek's. Van Hoorbeek won't want to give up this 4th place easily. Waiting for Cairoli to come through. A little bit uneasy there. 89, Van Hoorbeek. Cairoli over the line now to start his final lap. But this is going to be quite an enthralling contest between Van Hoorbeek, the 89, and De Dijker, the number 9, who's making a charge up the inside. He goes straight on and takes out Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek has absolutely nowhere to go. So clearly no love lost between those two guys. Now De Dijker needs to be careful here, because he would have known he would have pushed Van Hoorbeek wide. He might think that he might have even pushed him off the track a little bit further than he was. So watch this again. Van Hoorbeek was just a little bit easy on the gas and on the brakes. Clearly didn't expect it coming from De Dijker. Thought he was maybe a little bit further ahead than he actually was, but did well to regroup there. I remember Simpson going over the berm there a couple of years ago, when Frossard steamed up the inside of him. But Tony Cairoli, though, halfway round his final lap. He had 2 major problems last year, did Tony Cairoli. One of them in this left-hander, just here, when he had a stone or something lodged in the chain, when we had the horrible race conditions and the ground very, very gravelly. Completely locked everything up. He was down for a couple of laps, couldn't get that bike free-wheeled. Anyway, he went out in the second moto and, of course, got stuck in that mud corner as well. But no such dramas or problems for Tony Cairoli on the Red Bull KTM this weekend. He got off to the best possible start. It was between him and Nagel as they came through the first corner, but he made it his own as he went past pit lane. And Tony Cairoli takes a checkered flag and wins moto number 1 here. So half the job from his side of things is done in terms of redeeming himself from 12 months ago. Nagel comes over the line in 2nd. We wait for DeSalle. There he is in 3rd on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine. 4th was De Dijker, 5th Van Hoorbeek, and Tommy Searle should come home in 6th. Lorenzo Resta more than pleased with the work from Max Nagel there. So Max Nagel, who already recorded a 2nd place finish in the opening race in Brazil earlier on in the year, equals his best result of the season here, moto number 1 in Uddevalla. Searle comes over the line in 6th, Paulin 7th, Frossard 8th, Strybos just there in 9th on the 2nd of these Suzukis, and in 10th it should be Davide Gruneri. Jonathan Barragan a lap down and out of the points. So Max Nagel it was who was deemed the Get Athena Whole Shot Award winner, but it was very, very close, as we'll see in just a moment. So Max Nagel was about 7 or 8 gates over on the left-hand side there. Cairoli was up the inside of him. But as they came through, whose wheel hits it? Well, clearly Max Nagel's by the narrowest of margins, and I know that our BDIs would have stopped and paused and rewound and just rechecked who was definitely there. Lorenzo Resta, he's pleased, so too is Max Nagel. It'll be good to hear from him as well in a moment when we go down there just to grab those words with our top 3 riders, which will be Clement de Sal, Max Nagel, and of course Tony Cairoli. But the matchup between Cairoli, our eventual race winner, and Gauthier Paulin didn't quite happen, as we all expected, and we've seen and witnessed over the last couple of Grand Prix at France and of course in Italy. But I'm sure Gauthier Paulin will come out firing on all cylinders in Moto number 2. It's Cairoli rather unspectacularly taking the checkered flag, but he knows he's got another 40 minutes to do in Moto number 2 at 4 o'clock local time here.
We shall also warn those Swedish who never been here. I cannot imagine Swedish never been here, but for the flick show.
So Tony Cairoli then.
The airplane is there, so don't be afraid. Don't be
Official confirmation of the race 1 result. Wins it comfortably in the end from Max Nagel, Clement de Sal, Kenda Dijkap, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Tommy Searle, Gauthier Paulin and Stephen Frossard, with Kevin Strybos, David Oguneri, Xavier Borg, David Philippart, Sean Simpson and Tanel Leoc. Mattis Caro was 15th, Dennis Ulrich, Davis Ivanovs, Nick Larson, Heron Bracker and August Just. We're getting ready to speak to our winner. Here's Antonio Cairoli.
Tony, despite no training in the week and still having a few troubles with that knee, you brought it home in first. Are you happy with that result?
Yeah, I'm really happy because I couldn't train so well this week, and I know this track it doesn't get you really tired, so I try, to get all shot and then to pull away a little bit. It works. I had all shot and make some gap between me and the rest of the field, so it works good, and I'm really happy about this first moto, and hopefully next one is going to be the same.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, still nursing an injury. I was talking to Stefan Everts yesterday, and he said that he's using an ice machine during the week just to try and reduce the swelling and just keep on top of it. But that was where he went off last year when he got stuck in the mud. And every single one of those laps that he went by today, maybe he didn't even give it a second thought, because conditions completely different to what they were 12 months ago. Such is the style in the class and the quality of this guy here on the Red Bull KTM. Got off to a good start. Wasn't particularly sensational yesterday, but he does it today when it matters.
Max, you've had a few top 3 race results so far this year. How do you fancy turning that into an overall today?
First of all, I'm so happy to be here on this place again. I had a really good start, what surprised me a little bit also yesterday already. Still for next weekend we will get some more support for the starts, so make it even better. I hope I can make the same in the second heat, because the track is really difficult to pass, and if you can stay in the front, you can maybe also finish somewhere in the front, but to come from the back is really difficult here. So just want to make the same again, and finally maybe go on the podium would be so nice for the team and for myself.
Well done, fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Good result for Max Nagel and Honda World Motocross Racing, but I guess it's a case of bittersweet for those guys, with Evgeny Bobashev going out early with a twisted right leg, ankle. The same injury that he picked up earlier on in the season that he's been nursing as well, but no such problems for this guy, Max Nagel. He's in a good place right now and training well. His fitness is good, his speed is good, but Tony Cairoli just a little bit quicker than him here in the Moto number 1, but maybe just saving a little bit in the tank for race 2, because who knows what could happen. He could be on the podium this weekend. He could even be an overall Grand Prix winner here in Sweden. And he was a last winner here in 09, but here's Clement de Sal, he was 3rd.
Clement putting that frustrating second moto in Majora behind you and charging forward in that first race.
Yeah, I had bad luck in Majora with a problem with the bike, and yeah, this first moto, it's let's say a good result. I'm in the podium, but I didn't enjoy it so much. I mean, beginning difficult to find my rhythm and to find a good connection with the track, and at the end when it push and come in the lap rider, could not pass easy, and little bit disappointed, and we'll try to have a better result in second moto. I say to my sister in Belgium and all family, and it's good.
See you for second race.
No kiss for the girlfriend this weekend because she's here, but Commander Sal, third in moto number 1, but just struggling to find a rhythm. We'll go back, talk to the technicians down there at Rockstar Energy Suzuki World, MX1, and maybe change a few settings here and there. I'm sure he'll come out fighting, as always, in moto number 2. But Tony Cairoli, Max Nagel, and Clement de Sal, they were your first 3 in moto number 1. So as the crowd enjoy the sun and think about getting a burger, here's what happened in MX1 Race 1. Gate dropped, somebody tried to go early there over on the far side of the start, but it was Max Nagel and Tony Cairoli, with Nagel being confirmed the official whole shot winner. Frossard, though, started to find himself falling backwards into the clutches of Bobachev. 21, Paulin fell as well, and he left himself with a lot of work to do. That was the moment that Bobachev fell out of the race. Tommy Searle and Frossard, they were having their own little battle. Tommy Searle would eventually come home in 6th position. Frossard would drop down to 8th.
Get him to the medical and get a picture of it.
But up front, it was Tommy Searle who was leading the way from Max Nagel and Clement de Sal. Ken de Dijker found himself on the charge, though, and he was onto the rear wheel of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek had a big moment at the bottom of the hill while he was in 4th position. But then he lost that 4th place to Ken de Dijker, who charged up on the final lap to push his fellow countryman back a position. So Cairoli was your leader at that point. He went on to win the race. Nagel was 2nd, de Sal was 3rd, de Dijker was 4th, Van Hoorbeek was 5th. No change in the first 8 positions in the overall championship classification. Tony Cairoli will extend his lead over Gauthier Paulin. No Gonçalves here this weekend. He's had keyhole surgery on a knee, but Guarneri moves up and Philipparts loses a position. Xavier Bourg also gains a place as well. So too does Dennis Ulrich down in 23rd place at the expense of Casper Lingard, who's not riding here this weekend. Nick Larson climbs 6th to 25th. Well, that's it for us here in Sweden for now. We'll be back in about 15 minutes' time with our MX Live TV studio show. Of course, my guests will be Xavier Bourg, David Philipparts and Francois Lemarié.